Welcome to VNN. I'm Brandon Vang. Mr. Smith is currently on a special assignment in Western Africa studying the coevolution of man and wild. Tonight, I'll be your host. It's said that Africa is the cradle of humankind, being that it's where Homo erectus transitioned into Homo sapien nearly 100,000 years ago and began to domesticate wildlife and farm the land. But over the past few decades, it seems more like a prison than a cradle. A semi-tropical, poverty-stricken, disease-ridden, warring, ethnic prison. In recent news, it seems that Africa has once again managed to produce a new deadly strain of the Ebola virus. However, this time it only seems to affect terrorists and corrupt government officials, much like that time 50,000 years ago when we killed off all the Neanderthals and Homo erectus. According to the World Bank in 2011, nearly 50% of the continent lives in extreme poverty, being defined as living on $1.25 or less a day. The terrorist group Boko Haram has reportedly laid siege on around 16 villages, killing up to 2,000 and displacing at least 30,000. That's about half of what they accomplished for all of last year. They're also responsible for kidnapping the vice president of Cameroon's wife and the kidnapping of around 200 young women from a Nigerian school last year. In past years, sub-Saharan Africa has been cursed with nutrient-poor soil and over-farming. However, new studies show that this could all be fixed by dumping large amounts of chemical fertilizer on all of the affected areas. Go big or go home. Which leads us to Mr. Smith, who's currently researching the connection between man and the big animals of the safari. Joining us from the middle of nowhere, here's the man of the hour. John, what can you tell us?
Hi, Brandon. I've come to learn that here in Africa, the animals actually fear us, and our continued interaction has caused them to learn to avoid us. However, they will defend their land if provoked. To demonstrate, I'm carrying a rifle, and I've also brought 3 other hunters with me just in case something goes wrong, which it probably will. We've also added music for your entertainment. Ah!
Just coming in, sources report that if Africa does not receive outside investment, it will no longer be able to fund the only programs holding it together, its military and health facilities. If funding is not received, no longer will the people who have lived here since the dawn of time be able to live harmoniously with each other. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Brandon Vang. Sleep tight.